Hi friends, now let's start with anatomy of spinal cord part 2. So where does our spinal cord end? Remember, see, I told you about the vertebrae, right? We have cervical vertebrae, thoracic, so on. So you see this part, this is a lumbar vertebrae, that you know. And how many lumbar vertebrae we have? We have 5 lumbar vertebrae. So let me show the picture first. See, this is a picture of lumbar vertebrae. See, you can see that it's a cross section. Okay, so this is L1, that is lumbar vertebrae 1. This one is lumbar vertebrae 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is lumbar vertebrae 5, right? Now the question here is, where does the spinal cord end? In adults, it ends at L1. See, where is L1? This is L1, right? Lumbar vertebrae 1. So at this level, in adults, it ends L1. Whereas in a newborn, okay, in a child, it ends, the spinal cord ends at L3. In a child, it ends at L3, this point. Okay, so see guys, look here. Oh, this is the maximum I can zoom. Okay, so where is L3? See, this is L3. At this level, in a child, the spinal cord ends. Now, how will you remember this? See, L1 I said. In adults, where does it end? I said at the level of lumbar vertebrae 1. We write it as L1. And in children, it ends at, very good, L3. Now, how will you memorize it, guys? See, in adults, we are very competitive. We always want to be first. And in children who are very cute, okay, we always like children. So this 3, you can make it into a, see, write 3 here, and you can make it into a heart. Now you will not forget. Okay, so you always have this heart, cute heart for children. Now why it happens so? In adults it is L1, in children it is L3, because see this picture. Yeah. In a child, the spinal cord ends at L3. As a child is growing, see, when the child is growing, his height, okay, this height, obviously that increases. Okay? But you know, our neurons, they will regenerate, but they have a capacity. Once it grows to its maximum potential, then they wouldn't grow longer. So the child's height will increase as a child grows. Okay, so this L3 will come down. Oh, I don't know why I'm not able to get it on this side. Yeah, so the height increases, but then the spinal cord, it doesn't grow as the height increases. It stays where it is. So this L3 comes down, okay, and the spinal cord still, the ending of the spinal cord still remains there, and this position in adults, that will be around L1. So, just remember that as a child grows, his height increases, okay, this part. So the trunk's length increases, but the spinal cord length does not increase. Once it has grown to its maximum potential, the spinal cord doesn't become long. So L3 comes down, and now when I say in an adult where the spinal cord ends, you must answer L. In an adult, it is L1. Alright. Next, what is this term? Phylum terminale. Phylum terminale. This could come as a spotter. Now see this picture, this is a cross section, a lateral view, okay, of the spine. You can see that this is what, guys, these are the vertebrae. What I am drawing with blue, these are the vertebrae. So in the vertebral column, what do we have? We have the spinal cord, okay. Now what you can see here, this is a spinal cord. The end part of the spinal cord is called as what? We learned it in the previous session. The end part of the spinal cord, which is bulb-like, that is called as, see, this part, okay. Should I take a different color? See this part, yes, that is called as conus medullaris. It is the end part of the spinal cord. Now from this conus medullaris, the spinal cord doesn't just end there. From conus medullaris, a thread-like structure comes down and ends at the coccyx region. Once again, from conus medullaris, a thread-like structure, you can see now, see this thread-like structure arises and it stops where? In the coccyx. So that structure is called as phylum terminale. Now see this picture. Okay, this is a spotter. Alright, so see this is the spinal cord. You can see that. And you can see one thread-like structure coming down. Is it slow? Yeah. So you can see there's some lag, I think. The network is slow, I guess. So you can see this is your spinal cord. Okay, this is a cadaveric section. From the cadaver we have dissected. And this can come as a spotter. So ending of the spinal cord you can see here. From there a thread-like structure hangs down. The middle thread-like structure, that is called as phylum terminale. Clear? Now look at this picture. Same thing. This is a brain. This is a spinal cord. Okay, everyone knows that. And the ending of the spinal cord, at the end you can see what, guys? You can see a thread-like structure. This part, that is phylum terminale. Now moving on to another important topic, that is pia mater, arachnoid matter and dura mater. See, our brain and spinal cord, these both are covered by a layer called as what, guys? Very good. It's called as meningeal layer. Meninges, right? Meningeal layer. Now this meningeal layer has got three components. This meningeal layer actually has got three layers. That is, or this meninges has got three layers. That is pia mater, arachnoid matter and dura mater. Now see here. I'll take this picture only. You can see the brain, you can see the spinal cord. Now see, I have drawn a green color around the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, so this green color that I have drawn is your pia mater. What is it? Pia mater. Now this layer is the innermost layer and it's closely attached to the brain and the spinal cord. Once again, pia mater, the brain and the spinal cord, they are covered by what? A layer called as meninges. This meninges is composed of pia mater, arachnoid matter and dura mater. Now the innermost layer of the meninges, the innermost layer is called as pia mater, that I have drawn with green. See, it is very close to the, it's very closely attached to the brain and the spinal cord. Now after this, see, I have drawn one layer by blue. See this layer? Yes, this layer. Now this layer is called as what, guys? Very good. Okay, there my face is covering that region. So yeah, this blue color that I have drawn is your, that represents your arachnoid matter. That is after pia mater, which layer comes in the meninges? It is arachnoid matter. Very good. Now you can see one layer that I have drawn in purple. See, that is the outermost layer. Okay, outside of arachnoid matter, the outermost layer that we have is called as what, guys? Okay, this purple color that I have drawn, that is very good. That is dura mater. What is it? Dura mater. Now this dura mater is in close relation to your skull, right? Because it is the outermost layer. Once again, brain and spinal cord, they are covered by a layer called as meninges, which contains pia mater, arachnoid matter and dura mater. Now see here, guys, you know which layer is the arachnoid matter, right? The middle layer that I have drawn here, the blue color, that is the arachnoid matter. So under arachnoid matter, we have a space called as, see this white space I am talking about. This space, can you see? Yeah. Under arachnoid matter, this white space here, this space here is called as subarachnoid space. Sub means below. So under arachnoid matter, we have the subarachnoid space. Now, why did I tell you this is, in subarachnoid space, what do we have? Who can tell me? In subarachnoid space, very important, the CSF flows. What is CSF? Cerebrospinal fluid. That flows where, guys? In the subarachnoid space. Now you tell me, CSF is produced by what? CSF runs where? Yeah, it flows in the subarachnoid space. Now CSF is produced by what, guys? Let me just erase it. See, the cerebrospinal fluid, we learn about ventricles. That's important topic. As of now, remember that in the brain, this is the brain, we have got structures called as what, you know? Ventricles. I'm not liking this pen. Yeah. So, yeah. So, in the brain, we have structures called as ventricles. Okay, they are fluid-filled spaces. We'll talk about it. Just remember, in the brain, we have got ventricles. We have lateral ventricles, third ventricle, fourth ventricle. We'll learn about it. So now just remember, brain has got structures, fluid-filled spaces called as what, guys? Ventricles. So I've just drawn two ventricles here. Now in the ventricles, you know, there is a network of blood vessels. There is a network of what? Blood vessels called as choroid plexus. What is it, guys? In the ventricles, there is a network of blood vessels called as choroid plexus. Now this choroid plexus produces CSF. Alright, fine. Moving on. Okay, now is the test time, okay? So you will tell me which layer I am drawing. Fine, I'll just take different colors. The layer which is very adherent to the brain and the spinal cord. That is what, guys? You will tell me. The innermost layer, that is, we are talking about the meninges, that is very good. Pia or pia matter. I mean, we have different pronunciations, Indian, American. So you can call it pia matter. So see, remember, P for pyara. It's very pyara and it's very closely adherent to the brain and the spinal cord. So let me take a different color. The layer that is at the middle in the meninges, the layer which is at the middle, this green color that I have drawn, which layer is it? Very good. That is arachnoid matter. Uske baad, we have the outermost layer which is close to the skull. Right? Yeah, the outermost layer of the meninges. I mean, all of this goes down, okay? I've just drawn the, covering of the brain. Obviously, these three layers go down and protect your spinal cord also, alright? In the vertebral column, these layers cover the spine. So, inside these layers is your spinal cord running, right? So, it is like, see, in the head, it is like skull, then the meningeal layer, then the brain, right? And moving down, it's like your vertebrae outside, okay? Vertebrae. Inside that it is a meningeal layer that's moving down, and inside that there is spinal cord. Okay. Yeah, so the outermost layer is what, guys? Tell me. Outermost layer is very good. Dura matter, okay? Dura matter. Fine. Let's move on. Yes, the transverse section of spinal cord. So, this is a human body. What do you mean by transverse section? Transverse section means, see, you should know what is transverse section, coronal section, sagittal section. Transverse section means, suppose I am cutting a cadaver like this, okay, like this, and then seeing from above, okay, or below. That is transverse section. So, see, I am cutting like this a cadaver and then seeing from above. That is your transverse view. What do you mean by sagittal section, yaar? Sagittal section. Matlab, if I am cutting a body like this, like into right and left the body parts, like this if I am cutting, and then viewing from the side, that is sagittal section. The next one section is this one, coronal section. Coronal section means what, you know? Like this. Like this if I am cutting. Like if I am cutting a cadaver, it becomes, the body becomes anterior part and the posterior part. Okay, like this if I am cutting. Okay, that is coronal section. Okay, so now we're talking about the axial section where, you know, if I'm this is the spinal cord, okay, and I'm cutting like this transversely, right, and then seeing from above. Okay, this is how the spinal cord looks. Let's see how it looks. see, for you to know how the spinal cord looks, first you should know a little bit about neurons. So when I take a transverse section of the spinal cord, initially what I see is, see, I can see a circle that is nothing but the spinal canal. So see guys, get this clearly. If suppose this is a spinal cord, okay, inside, innermost, it has got an opening, or this round like opening or a space that is called as a central spinal canal. Central spinal canal, through which the CSF flows. So this is a spinal cord. If this is a spinal cord, the innermost area, okay, is a canal through which the cerebrospinal fluid runs. So that's what I have drawn here, that is central canal. So if I am taking a section of the spinal cord, this is how it appears. At the center, what you will get? The spinal canal. Okay. Now around it you will get a structure. Very simple. Okay, this is very simple. So around this spinal canal, you will get a butterfly shaped structure called as, who can tell me what is this butterfly? It doesn't look like a butterfly, no? See, I am very good in drawing, okay? Like, yeah, when I was pregnant, I used to draw pictures of babies, my me and my husband holding baby. It was beautiful. Yeah, but I don't know what happened to my drawing now. So see, it looks somewhat like a butterfly. Now this structure that I have drawn, okay, which looks like a butterfly, is called as grey matter. It's called as what, guys? Very good, grey matter. Now around the grey, I'll tell you what is grey matter and all that. Just listen for 10 seconds. Now around the grey matter, you have another structure that I have drawn, okay, in pink. Right, in my tab it looks pink, there it looks purple. So this structure that I have drawn, okay, around the grey matter, that is called as white matter. I'll explain both of it. Okay. As of now, remember the spinal cord, at the center it has got a central canal, okay, and around it has got a butterfly shaped structure called as grey matter. Around the grey matter, there is another structure called as white matter. Now what is this grey matter? What is this white matter? It's very simple. To understand what is grey matter, what is white matter, you should understand the anatomy of neurons, right? The brain, spinal cord, all of it are made up of what? Lots of neurons. So learn a little bit about neurons. Then you will understand what is white matter, what is grey matter. See, this is a structure of a neuron. This part that you see here, that is what, guys? Very good. That is cell body of a neuron. Dekha? This is a cell body of a neuron. Listen carefully. This is important. It's simple also. So from the body you can see these branch-like things coming out, right? Branch-like things coming out. Yeah. So those are your, very good man, dendrites. Dendrites. Okay. Now from the cell body you can see one structure moving out like this. That is called as what, guys? You can see this structure from the cell body. That is very good. This is your axon. This is what, guys? Axon. Now, sometimes, some neurons, the axon gets covered by a covering called as myelin sheath. So you can see this yellow color cells here. Yeah, you can see this yellow color cells here. One second. Yeah. So you can see these yellow color cells that surround the axon. They form the myelin sheath. So axon is covered by a layer called as what, guys? Myelin sheath. And then at last you can see this axon terminal. Axon terminal, this part. Now, guys, in the cell body, you have, where is black color? Yes. You have small granules called as what, Nissels granules. What is it? Nissels granules. So in the cell body you have granules called Nissels granules, and these Nissels granules look what, they look grey in color. They look grey in color. Remember, now when it comes to axon, I told you axon is covered by what? myelin sheath. You can see yellow color. So this myelin sheath is made up of what, you know guys, is made up of something called as phospholipids. Phospholipids, and these phospholipids, they are, you know, whitish yellow in color. Now in the brain and in the spinal cord, when you know, this is just one neuron. The brain and spinal cord have lots of neurons, right? A lot of it make up these two structures. Now when the cell body, the dendrites, the axon terminals of many neurons come together, then that part looks grey in color, and that is why that area is called as grey matter. When the axons, when in a part of the brain spinal cord, when the axons of many neurons come together, you know, when they are placed together, that part looks white in color, whitish yellow in color. That is why that part is called as white matter. Understood? See, once again, I have drawn just one neuron for explanation. In the brain and spinal cord, we've got lots of neurons. When the cell body, the dendrites, axon terminals of many neurons, when they are close to each other at different parts of the brain spinal cord, those areas, they look grey in color, okay, and those areas are called as grey matter. And why do they look grey? Because of the presence of Nissls granules in the cell body. Nissls granules are, they are grey in color. Now when this axon of different neurons, when they are together, you know, when they are placed together at different sites, they look white in color, so those sites are white matter. Simple, no? Now if you ask me, see, obviously all of these parts that I mentioned, they have their own functions. We'll talk about it in physiology. Okay, I don't, now if we talk about it, it's gonna consume our time. Now just let's stick to anatomy. See, grey matter, you know, grey matter basically, involves sensory perceptions and memory. I'm having this some sort of allergy, I don't know why. So the grey matter, no, it usually involves with sensory perception. Like if I'm touching a pen, I know that I'm touching a pen, so that's called a sensory perception. And with memory, thought production. Whereas white matter is mainly involved in, you know, conduction of the impulses. We'll talk about that in physiology. Now, you know, get your basics straight in anatomy. Fine. So you understood about white matter, grey matter, na? Now no confusion, right? Chalo, yahan dekho. See, this is a cross section of the brain. Okay, you can see this part which looks grey in color is a grey matter, and obviously the part which looks white in color, that's a white matter. I want to show you one more picture, okay, so that you guys won't forget. See, this is the picture of transverse section of spinal cord. What you can see at the center is what, guys? This is the central spinal canal, and around it you have got the grey matter butterfly shape, and outside this part that you see, that is the white matter, right? And this part that you see, that is a grey matter. Now I have drawn two neurons here, you all can see now. Okay, the cell body and the nerve endings. Okay, the cell body's dendrites, all of it make the grey matter inside, because the cell body has got Nissls granules which give it the grey color. Whereas you can see see the axon of the nerve is outside. Now when a lot of axons come together, I told you axon has got what? Myelin sheath, which are made up of phospholipids, and phospholipids are whitish in color, okay, yellow whitish in color. So that is why white matter has, it's called white matter because it looks whitish. Understood? Fine. And see guys, in grey matter, I want to tell you one more thing. In the grey matter, if you see, you have got projections. See, suppose I'm telling you that this is the anterior part, okay, this is the anterior part of the spinal cord, I'm telling you, and this is the posterior part of the spinal cord. See, in the grey matter, you can see this projection here, right? It looks like a projection, this part. Now this projection here is called as what, you know? It's called as, very good, it's called as ventral horn. Ventral horn. See, ventral means anterior. Okay, that's how we say anterior in medical term. Ventral horn. Now posteriorly, you can see that there are another two projections. Okay, I'm talking about the grey matter, right? A butterfly shaped part of the spinal cord. So the posterior part, again you can see two projections which I've drawn in red. Now these two projections are called as what, guys? I told you this is the posterior part. So posterior in medical term we can call it as a dorsal. Okay, dorsal means posterior. Dorsal horn. Alright, and the middle here. Okay, see this side, okay, at the lateral sides you have got another projections which I have drawn in black, and they are called as, very simple, lateral horns. Okay, lateral horns which I have drawn in black. So in the grey matter you have got projections. Anteriorly two projections are there, called as what, guys? Ventral horns. Posteriorly the projections that you see, they are called as dorsal horns. And laterally you can see two swellings, two horns, they are called as lateral horns. Obviously these three have their own specific functions. It comes under physiology, so let's learn it there. I want you to identify it now, that's it. So I think that is enough now today. Yeah, so all of you stay blessed, stay fit, eat lots of fruits, vegetables, hit the gym, and yeah, take care, bye bye.